Is the world about to witness another world war? This is the question that most people are asking, especially people from the third world country. Some Nigerians are already curious to know if Nigeria will be affected. Here am I to analyze and break it down for you. Yes, Nigeria will be affected in one way, positively and negatively. So here we go. Before the crisis escalates 2 days ago, remember that the Russian has been engaging the people of Ukraine for more than a year now. And since that crisis started in Ukraine, it happens that sometime last year, we also had a coup in Niger, of which the ECOWAS went ahead to sanction Niger and even attempted to go into war with Niger. Situation where the Russian counterpart, working closely with the Niger junta, as well as Burkina Faso and Mali, which many political scientists and warlord predictors said the world war is going to happen in Africa, since it never materialized between the Russian and the Ukraine, as France, UK and other world powers, the NATO, did not involve directly, as Russia continued to warn them, if you do, I will escalate. And it happens that most people in Africa spoke up and the issue died down. Now, it happens that in the Middle East, the Israeli government and that of Palestine has been having this back and front for a while now. Now the issue escalates. Now this is where many people are not getting it right. What happened in Syria? Well, the Israel government decided to bomb the embassy of Iran in Damascus was because they suspected that there is a terror arrangement in that place, in that building that was bombed close to the embassy. And this was the reason why the Iranian government decided to retaliate. Many people are saying that no, this will not result into world war because they don't expect the Israel to return back the favor. But the issue here is this. From the report that have been seen lately, it seems like the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, is ready to launch an attack in the next 48 hours. And if this happens, then it means that there's going to be a direct confrontation between the two countries, of which it will go on more than a day or two. We have already seen that yesterday when the drone and the missiles were launched on Israel, we saw the UK government, we saw the US and the French using their military jets to intercept some of those drones and missiles fired on Israel. This is already a direct interception of NATO into this whole crisis, which brings us to the fact that the Iranians said if the NATO or America get involved, then they are definitely going to attack anyone who go close to their interests. The issue now is this: Africa is the issue here. What do Africans, what is the impact of this whole issue around African countries, especially Nigeria? What do they stand to gain? What is the disadvantage of this to them? Let's not forget that the crisis between Russia and Ukraine also is causing a lot of hunger in the land in Nigeria, because Ukraine happens to be one of the largest producers of grain. And we saw in the news how Ukraine gave aid to Nigeria even at war. So you see that some of those things is going to affect African or third world country negatively in one way or the other. But if you stay with me a bit, we're going to talk about where Nigeria is to benefit from this whole drama. So looking at the OPEC, whenever the OPEC came up to say, we want the oil producing state to cut down their production, the third world countries suffer the most. And Nigeria happens to be one of these oil producing nations of the world. Don't forget that the Middle East is one of the nations of the world that produce most of the oil in the world. So if it happens that this war goes ahead, then the Nigerian government and other countries in the world who are not directly involved in this whole issue, what do they stand to gain? Can they produce more oil? Will there be more demand in the market? Will this affect the currency? What is the policies that the governments are putting in place in order to benefit from other people's adversary? This is what comes to play when you have leaders in place and you have people who think ahead, not just politicking alone. But when you look at this carefully, you will understand that yes, at the end of the whole road, Nigeria will benefit in one way or the other from the fact that they are going to be producing more oil into the market, because if this war happened and the oil spill in the Middle East, then some of the nations of the world will turn to other nations in order to meet up with the demands in the market. Is Nigeria ready for this, among other issues? Some nations of the world, if this happened, some people will be seeking asylum here and there and all of that. But the question here is this: does Nigeria have the capability, the capacity to, render aid to some certain countries around the globe? Who are they going to stand with? Will they stand with NATO? Will they stand with the Iranian government? This is a situation that many Nigerians are asking, where do we belong? But I just want you to know that it's not something to be panicked. It is something that you should be looking at where to gain from and how to plan your life going forward. What do you think about this? Do I make any sense? Let's have this conversation at the comment section. Thank you for watching.